Okay, let's try this. Alright, this is going to be my first vlog for the bitch blog. Some of it is going to be, griping about things. Other things is going to be, for this one, I just want to review a bunch of mesh bodies that I have. I have 3 of the basic designers: Beleza, Slink, S-Link otherwise known, but I'm going to pronounce them how I pronounce them, and I am getting another freaking message. What is up with that today? No, I don't want to be in Blueberry chat today. Go away. And then there's Maitreya. And I wanted to go over these. I'm not really going to get much into the heads, mostly because I just, this is probably going to be long enough as it is. I really don't want to get into that as well. That might be for a different day. But I am wearing the logo one for, was it, Chloe. And that is some ones in and of itself. But right now I'm wearing the Beleza Freya. So I wanted to go over that. You can see that it's pretty curvy. It's actually almost about as curvy as the Slink Hourglass. It's a little bit better proportioned, and depending on what you make your proportions in, your body sliders, your overall shape. I worked with my shape, not that, to where it is what it is in all my bodies. Because I liked certain standards, certain things. What I want to say about some of these, like the Freya and the Isis and the Hourglass, is, they're already pretty curvy. So when you put them on, if you're already adjusted to where you have massive curves on your normal shape, basically, or your pre-mesh avatar, your curves are going to just practically explode the moment you put these on. It's going to be a lot bigger, and you might want to think about, depending on how much bigger they get, you might want to think about going back in to your shape and adjusting it as needed. Because there's one thing to have curves, there's another thing for your curves to take up a whole nother zip code. So, let's go with that. And this is one of the things of the Beleza. I have to say, these were the first ones I bought Beleza was, because one, I liked that 3 bodies came in for the price of 1. Otherwise, they are a little bit more expensive than some of the others, but hey, for one, you're getting 3 bodies. Okay, number 2, they are compatible in their hands and feet with Slink. So that's another plus. They have tons of save slots, tons of neck options, a neck sheath in order to help with, blending with either your regular avatar head, classic avatar head, and I'm getting, why is it today I'm getting more messages? Okay, or, to help blend with, how do I want to say this, with any kind of mesh head that you get. It's really helpful to blend with neck sheaves and neck sizes, and that mostly it takes just sitting there and trying to match up the neck sizes that come with your mesh head, and using, whatever neck sheath that your body might have, and basically trying to match up skin types. Because as I've noticed with mine, on this one, I used the Omega version of the logo head, and I put the same plier on for that skin as I have in all my other skins for everything else. And so it's basically supposed to be the same skin, right? Yeah, that doesn't always match up, as I wanted to show with these, if I can get this positioned right. As you can see, there's an obvious issue. If I put the neck sheath down, then you see it right there like that. If I put the neck sheath up, it does that. So I'm still having some issues blending this particular one. I think I might have to up the neck size on my head or something along those lines. It's just one of those things. But that is one of my major issues with the Belleza across the board that I didn't really notice quite as bad before. But that I have begun to notice later. At least if you put it down here, you can probably cover it with like a necklace or something. Which is something that I've done with a few other deals, and like with my slink body, you'll see that. That's basically one of my solutions, because when you have that line, if you're trying to take photographs or something, it becomes a bit irritating, because then you have to go back in and fix that area. And it shows up just as much on a higher preference, if not worse, as it would on a lower. So you can see there, it's an issue. Normally, people look at you more from back here, and you can maybe just play it off as shadowing. Putting a necklace on helps. It really does. Because then, you know, people think, oh, okay, it's just a shadow. It blends, you know. It's okay if you put the necklace right there. But otherwise, you know, you see it and you go, ooh, that doesn't quite match. So that's one of the issues I've pretty much had almost across the board. But one of the reasons why I got Belleza and why I liked them was their HUD has this different set of hands. I didn't have to buy all these different hands and things. I just bought these. And, you know, the hands changed whatever I need them to be based on this. I keep them at this one because that's what my claws are set for. You saw when I moved it here, the claws didn't move. That's a regular thing in Second Life. Is most of the hand and finger jewelry that they make for a lot of these, they're set to one hand shape. And these I actually bought because, let me see, which set are those? Hayop, yeah. I got those at a Caliber 88 thing because they were actually made for the Belleza. And I was thrilled because until then, I didn't have claws for my hands, and that annoyed the hell out of me because I love wearing claws. I just do. So, that is one of the issues. But one of the reasons why I liked their HUD here was, you know, you get all these, which you pretty much find in every HUD. But, you know, there were save slots for the fingernails, for the toenails. There was a whole range of nail lengths. But one of the other things I loved was the feet. I didn't have to buy 3 sets of feet. I just had these. And I can see right here there's a little bit of an issue. I think that's because yep, there we go. I had last set them to be compatible with the slink feet. What you can do with the hands or the feet, they adjust to where they come down more around here, and they blend into the slink feet a little bit better. And the same with the hands, the wrists adjust to fit the slink hands better when you use one of these. But otherwise, you can switch between flat, medium, high, and I consider that one just ridiculous, is what I think JD stands for. It's just damn. So otherwise, I usually keep it on the high because that's what most of the shoes that I buy are. And let me see. What else I would get into with this one? Oh yeah, the layers. This one, my biggest gripe is usually, if it's going to do it, see. Yeah, little gaps. And some days are worse than others with this. Let me see if when I do this, oh yeah. Yeah, this has been my biggest gripe with the Beleza stuff since day one. As a lot of times these tattoos that I wear, and particularly this one, the tattoo layer glitches like you wouldn't believe. So if you are somebody that likes to wear tattoos, unfortunately, until they get this fixed, yeah, this is an issue. And I have tried doing the mask and then blend. I've tried other layers. I've tried turning materials off. And it just, nothing helps. It sits there and glitches. Let me see. Okay, I don't have anything on that layer or that layer. I never know if I do or not. Okay. Anyways, I've only ran into a few issues of the appliers not going to the right layers with this particular HUD, because that happens, I've noticed, with pretty much all the bodies from time to time. Is I don't know what it is, something gets messed up in the scripts, and for one reason or another, especially with Omega appliers, though a lot of times I found those will work right, but other times, even when I'm working with them, when I make my clothes, they just don't want to work right sometimes. And I think it might just be a general Second Life issue when they're having problems and something doesn't work right. Because, I mean, I was running into that just a few minutes ago where nothing wanted to work right. And I was like, oh, come on. So, you know, it happens from time to time. But, you know, like I was saying, my best and favorite feature is that I get all these hand poses and the 3 different feet, along with a HUD that's actually pretty good. I like that I can click these like that and that they also have presets. But there are times when, and I love the small ones like that are just little slight differences that really help. But other times, some of these become a pain in the butt, because if you try to get some of these ones that are like in the cracks, and you're trying just to get them, or just to get these, then you end up pressing some of these others sometimes. Like, I try to get that one sometimes, and I'll press one of these. I'm like, no! So, for me, that's a little bit of an issue, that they don't have, let me see, like a slightly better button system. But for the most part, I actually like theirs. Let me go to the Isis. Is pretty much similar. Come on, go away, you. It's waiting to load. The Isis is pretty much similar to the Freya. Its curves are a little bit different. A little bit less in the leg area, if you like that. But like I said, when I bought this, I got the Freya, the Isis, and the Venus in one pack. So, yeah, that's actually pretty good. Once again, this skin one, it's supposed to be using the same applier. And it, yeah, wrong close up there. Okay, you can see it just doesn't blend well, so, yeah, I'm working with that right now. Uses the same HUD across the board, you know, no big difference, it just uses the same thing. I like some of the tone and definition, I like the difference in the curve. Then I can move on to Venus. That's popping up again. And it will go away in a little while as soon as I get a freaking chance. Okay. Is it going to show up or is it not? Okay, this one, on this particular one, because I had a different HUD saved for each one, but the HUD is pretty much, yeah, it is. It's the same on each body. I had to remember that. That it's same layout, but, you know, they have a different HUD for each. And, you know, you can make different presets for each. Like this one, I already had like this. You can save different skin ones. I have, let me see, apply this. I believe this one was a Fallen Gods one from We Love Roleplay. So, it's one of my favorites. It's blue. I don't have it applied to the head yet. But once again, you see, that is glitchy. And that irritates the hell out of me. But, you know, I live with it anyways. Most of the time, if I want to wear my tattoos, I just live with it. Once again, you see, I just stuck a freaking necklace on that. I went, okay, I am not putting up with that. I'm just wearing a necklace. The gap isn't so bad right there, but I've really had issues with it before, and I'm still trying to really blend it, so that's pretty much just a constant problem. Like I said, I usually just slap a necklace on it and call it a day, because I get tired of messing with it, fiddling with it, trying to get it right. And after all that, it still does pretty much wherever the hell it wants. But that just, like I said, it seems to be an issue across the board with a lot of the bodies. Whether you have a mesh head or a classic body head, it just kind of does it. And this is doing that again. I hope it doesn't mess up on me again. I really don't want that. With this one, I'm actually wearing blueberry, phoenix hair, and some shoes by Rain. I believe these, yes, these are the ones that were available at the Hentai Fair. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know if they'll still be available by the time this comes out. Might still be. Let me see. If they'll do it, I'm crossing my fingers. Okay. This one I just saved like that. This was a pair of underwear that came with the Maitreya stuff. In fact, I think that's even what it's labeled. Yeah. Yeah, Maitreya, Laura mesh bra. This was stuff that just came with it, so I just left it with that. You can see a different tattoo because the other one was only made for Belleza. I'm going to get rid of this. This is one, the Maitreya is that it actually has some really nice curves. It's really basic. For the most part, I've noticed that a lot of designers seem to be using it as a bit of a standard. You'll find a lot of dresses that are made specifically for Maitreya, and you'll find a lot of jewelry that's specifically for Maitreya. And, you know, I think that's because it works well with designers. I use it when I work with my templates that I work with. And part of the reason why I bought it was so that I had something to actually see the pliers that I was working with on, because you can get dummies and mannequins and whatever, and that's actually why I have the bodies I do, because I at first was fine with just using my Belleza. But after a while, when I was trying to make pliers and all these different clothes, I wasn't sure if they would actually be compatible. I had to just cross my fingers and guess. And other times, it was like, okay, I really don't know what this looks like. And so, after a while, I finally broke down. I saved up. And, you know, I just bought each set by saving up. And then I finally got all of them. Maitreya is actually the last one I've gotten. And I really don't plan on getting anything else. But for the most part, I turned out to really like this one. I actually tend to use this one a lot when I'm like building and, you know, designing stuff, just mostly because it works well. And this is actually the new update with a new HUD, new body that works with it. I tried wearing the old body with it. It still technically works with the new HUD, but they will bug you and sit there and go, oh, there's a new release. So you're just best off wearing the new stuff, because otherwise they keep trying to send you the new one. And you're like, oh, you don't have updated. Send, and it just gets irritating. So let's move on from there. Alphas, I actually like that they have individual sets for some of these that work out really well, or you can click, just like I did with the Belleza. But a lot of these, once again, it's these little areas that are sometimes really difficult, and you'll find that it's a lot of those areas that, unfortunately, in outfits will be the very ones that like to stick out of your outfits in odd places. And you're like, what in the world is sticking out there? I thought I had everything outfit. Oh, it's usually some of these little ones like that. Little ones like over here. And over there. And, you know, I think there's other ones. But those are some of the worst ones. And then a lot of times when you try to click them and you're in a hurry, or you're in a smaller screen, you can't quite see it right. I did that on my laptop all the time, and that was difficult. I would click the wrong one all the time. So I really am happy that you have both of these options, because you can just, let me see, click like that, and then just really quick go like this for whatever it is you need. And then there you go, those are there. And it's just like, okay, yay. They have the show all, in case you just want to do it. They have the alpha slots. I already talked about that. Okay, layers. I don't think I have any layers on this because this is my new body. Oh, okay, I do have those. I've had a few problems, not many, of, you know, things going to the wrong layer, kicking off my tattoos, and I'm like, no! I like my tattoos. Wear it with the tattoo. Let me see if I can show this. Okay, it's not doing it this time, but every once in a while, let me see. Aha! It's doing it then. Every once in a while, there'll be glitches in Second Life, and it'll just do this automatically without me doing what I just did. And I'm sitting there kind of going like, why in the world is, you know, my tattoo not on? It says it's on. One of the ways I found out to fix this is you can either put that back on and then do that, and it'll fix it. But if you're somewhere public, you really don't want to just take off your pants. So I found out sometimes that using the mask mode like that, like, let me see if it'll do it again. Doing that and then unclicking that so that it blends again helps put your tattoo back. So that really helps. I've had that problem a few different times, and that's pretty much generally what works. Glove buttons, clear buttons, glossiness, shine, you adjust those as you need them. Skin options. The other reason why I like these is, once again, you get 3 feet for the price of 1 body. The feet come with it, and so do the hands. You don't have to buy it separate. I believe with this, there's only 1 hand option. I don't remember there being more. I know I don't use more. So you're pretty much stuck with your hands being in one position. Yeah. Yep. That's really, to me, the only downside of the Maitreya. is that your hands are stuck in one position, and so far I have one set of claws, but not like any of my others, that I can wear for this. Everything else I probably need to adjust, and I just haven't taken the time to. A second thing that I actually love about this, though, is I don't have the hand ones applied right now, because otherwise these would blend just fine and you wouldn't notice much of an issue. But I have to say the Maitreya one blends the best that I've seen. I mean, the feet are actually to where you can take them off, but when I sit here and I look at them, despite this, they are very well blended, and they can actually work along with Slink. That's part of the reason why the hands and the feet can be taken off, is to make them compatible with Slink. At the same time, though, you notice that the majority of it, it's the best one I've found for blending. If I can get a close-up, whoa, too close. Yeah, I got a box for a brain. That line that I kept talking about throughout the Beleza, you can see a little bit of an issue there, but it's not like all the others. I've managed to actually blend this one, and it blends the best. And like you could see from the side there, I think that's actually because the body is designed to where its layer fades a little bit more as it goes up. It doesn't just have this direct cut off to where in the middle of nowhere it just cuts off. Instead, it fades a little bit as it goes up, and it actually helps it blend better when you're using either a mesh head or, you know, just even your regular Second Life body. It really helps in that department. So when I found that out, I was ecstatic, because that line that I was talking about before, that annoys the hell out of me. I'm a little bit OCD about that stuff, and yeah, that just never quite worked for me. So let me see if I can go on to the next one. Overall, though, I really do have to say I like and use the Maitreya a lot, even though it's basically been the last one I bought. Let me see if this one will come in right. Slink. And as soon as I can get rid of this. Yes, I play Tiny Empires. Okay. Now we get to Slink. I only have the Hourglass one because I didn't initially like the Physique one. And I bought Hourglass once again because I was trying to make a pliers. I was trying to make things that fit. Initially, I didn't know if the Hourglass stuff actually fit right or if it didn't. And I didn't want to be playing something out there that I said fit when, you know, I didn't know if it did. And so I bought the body eventually, kind of going like, okay, you know, at least now I can try this stuff on. If it's fit mesh and it actually fits well, I can say, okay, I know this stuff fits. And, you know, it's mesh body approved. And I got this one because I loved the curves. My avatar hasn't always had the best curves. My friend has often gotten to me because there's been times in the past when my avatar had basically like no hips and no butt. And eventually I even got sick of that a little bit because I started noticing that. So I went for the Hourglass, kind of going like, okay, you know, I really want to have an option to have curves. And this delivers. It delivers a lot of curve. And what was a major down point before was that a lot of designers weren't making a lot of clothes for it. So you would have it and you'd have about maybe 3 outfits you could wear, and then, you know, maybe if you found some of your Slink pliers, you could put those on because those worked. If you have Slink pliers that you used for physique, they will work with Hourglass. They may stretch a little bit more, but they work. So that's a major plus with this, is that you don't have to buy whole new pliers if you have ones that already are set for Omega or Slink. Let me see. You might have to buy the Omega stuff, because I've noticed that Omega does that, to where you have to buy something that converts or puts a script reader into your stuff, and in some cases, like a little thing that converts it, depending on the pliers you're using. And those are usually just like 99 lindens. But with the Slink, the biggest problem I found is that, for me, it came off as a bit of a money pit. I mean, you have a great product when you put it all together. And don't get me wrong, I love this body. I love Slink because they've really helped my life with shoes. So that's like a major plus. But for me, I just feel like you spend a lot of money. And basically, let me break this down. As much as I love this body, one, it has that same neckline, so I slap a necklace on that. Just, there you go. It distracts just fine. Secondly, things are still getting fitted for the Hourglass. But for another deal, you have to buy each set of feet separately. I think last I checked, what were those? They're like around 400 or something a piece. So you have to buy the high ones. Then if you want flat feet, you have to buy the flat ones. And the medium feet if you happen to want some of those. Most of the time, from what I've seen, most people just buy the high ones like I did. I only bought the high ones. I wasn't going to sit there and buy all three. Then, depending on what you get, you can either get a pack of hands, or you can buy just a single hand. I bought the pack because when I had a lot of jewelry and claws, they either fit casual or elegant or something like that, because when the designers make these for Slink, which they usually do, they'll make them for a specific hand and a specific body. They will usually use, a lot of times, the casual or the elegant hand, and those are the only hands that they fit. For some of them, they make them adjustable, and then you can sit there and mess around with Second Life if it's not having problems, and you can refit them to the hands you have, but you better make a copy of them before you do that, because I tried that and totally messed up a set of hands. I mean, I ruined not the hands, but, you know, the jewelry. I completely messed up one set. I mean, one of the claws went flying, and I never got it right back in the right position. I mean, just saying. So, you want to make a copy before you do anything with them. And then after you're done doing that, go ahead and, you know, adjust them if you need to. If you're not going to buy, like, different hand sets. But otherwise, all these things, like these, are made for specific positions, and you can't change them beyond that position. We're in Blueberry here. So far, they're one of the ones that actually make a lot of fitted clothes, that actually fit Hourglass. But once again, like I was saying about the whole issue of the hands, I bought the pack because I didn't know what I would need, what I wouldn't need, and because I do photos from time to time on myself, mostly because, you know, I don't feel qualified enough to do anything professional. Let's put it that way. I just don't. So usually I do my own photos from time to time, practice, things like that, and I wanted more hand options in case I wanted to show her, like, holding something or God knows what. Otherwise, the hands are about, you know, 4 something a piece, almost 500 lindens. So, you know, there's that much for those. Then you spend about 1,000 something on the body. Then, like, I have the logo head. If you buy the one that they have called Visage, I believe it is, Visage. Don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know if I pronounce any of this right, to be honest. Yeah, then, you know, you just spend more money, depending on the hands you get, the feet you get. And I basically estimated before that depending on what you spend and what you buy, a lot of times, if you're going all slink with your entire freaking body, you can end up anywhere from $2,000 or $3,000 to $5,000, well, not dollars, lindens, let's put it that way. I keep saying dollars instead of lindens. You can end up somewhere between, I want to say, actually realistically, about 3,000 lindens to 5,000 lindens in the hole from this. If you buy, like, everything. That's part of the reason why I didn't buy their head. And I eventually, that, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way it looked. And I bought this head from Logo, which I might have a different vlog later explaining, you know, a few different heads and how they look. Because I've had friends ask me about the different heads. And to be honest, I only bought this one because I actually happened to like it. Up until then, I'd been waiting and just kind of going like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to wait till they come out with something that's fitted mesh, because so far I'm not liking any of this. And then I found the Logo ones, and I was able to do the exact look, and I joked with my friends about this. She generally has a pissed off look most of the time, which is the look I was going for with my former head. And, you know, so I finally got the pissed off look I've been trying for years. And so with that one, I went, okay, you know what, I'm going to buy this one. But, you know, if none of them are right for you, which, you know, I might do a deal later where, you know, I try a bunch of different demos or something just to show what they look like, just to go ahead and go like, you know, these are your options. Because I actually have a website put into my preferences that has a bunch of the different mesh heads. So I'll probably cover that one in something else. But for this one, yeah, that's pretty much my review on most of the bodies is. And I noticed this one, sometimes it blends well, sometimes it doesn't. You can actually see the line right there. That's one of my banes of my existence, is the lines. And that's part of the reason why I have the jewelry that I do for it, because I cover up those freaking things. But other than that, this one's probably the curviest of all of them. And, you know, it's pretty much an individual preference thing, because you're going to have, you know, different clothes available for different deals. For the most part, most of the appliers work well. Let me go over this really quick. I have to find it. Okay. Now, this actually bothers me, because you saw how small the other ones get. The Maitreya was just a little square over here. The Blazer was just a little circle I put over here. This big freaking bar, yeah, I don't like it. I usually put everything over here on this side, because I usually have my chat box up over here, so anything else gets irritating. This looks like a lot at first, because you sit there and you look at all these lines and all these little squares and you're like, oh my god, what the hell? And then you start realizing these are just little presets, and these are the individual deals. Instead of, you know, clicking the body itself, you're just clicking these on the side that connect to there. But to me, having these little lines come over here, you're having to trace the different lines, or, you know, you guess like, oh, it's the belly, or oh, it's this. And to me, that's a little bit, I just want to say that this feels complicated. You can toggle all, you can do the shoulders or the groin. I mean, once you get used to it, you can work with it really well. but until you get used to it, you just look at it and go, wow, that's a mess. Because I know that's pretty much what went through my head. I've had a few issues of the pliers kicking off my tattoos and going to the wrong area, and then I have to fight with them for a while. I'm not really sure what that's about. I'm not qualified to talk on scripts, so I don't know where the miscommunication happens. I just know it happens, and that it has a tendency to stick the wrong stuff in the wrong places often enough that it irritates me. These are different save slots, sheens, droplets, but when the appliers work, they actually do work pretty dang well. They automatically blend. You can see I'm actually wearing some nice little kitty scratch hose, and they blend really good. I believe, yes, I have an outfit, and that blends well. It automatically goes to blend. I've had issues where this stuff on the side sometimes doesn't work. God knows why. As you can see, there's nothing to change, like feet or anything else like that. I mean, you have a couple of these skin deals, but there's nothing for, you know, like your nails or anything. And why is that not disappearing? That's my biggest thing with the Slink, is that everything you have to buy separate. And while it helps you customize things, at the same time, for me, it's just a pain in the butt. I mean, it's always you have to apply this, then you have to apply this, then you have to switch over to this HUD, then you have to switch over to this HUD for the feet, then you have to switch to this one for this. And I heard that there was supposed to be some kind of combo thing, but I haven't found it yet, or I haven't went there and looked for it. Because right now, that just seems to make my life so much harder that I have to keep switching things. And then the different hands, while they describe them, you know, you have to click on the different ones. Then a lot of times you have to apply the skin for the different ones, the tattoos for the different ones. So you're constantly going through that. And then there's the feet. I've already explained that shit. These are the blender layers. And for the feet that I got, alternative skins. So, yeah, that's the Slink ones. You'll probably usually see me wearing the Maitreya, to be honest. You just will. That seems to pretty much be my favorite one. Because, let me see. Yeah, those are all my older ones. But other than that, that's pretty much my review on these different bodies. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.